All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. 6:15 a.m. here in Arizona. Just waking up. Testing my mic. It looks like it's working. Let me know if you guys can't hear me. Good morning to everyone. Happy Friday. Let's get this show on the road. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. All right, what do we got here? Let's take a look, man. I'm still asleep. All right, let me take a look at today's plan. Obviously, we had some news, so let's start with the 4-hour, and let's take a look at what's going on there. We talked about this overall 4-hour ascending channel or bullish sentiment for the last couple of days or so. We had the news drop last night, which pushed us down 300 points. That was all based on the Middle East. But we've already retraced about 50% of that move. So if we take a look at, where are my tools here? Here we go. If we look at this retracement, right, we're already above 50%. You know, this point, the 61.8, that 720 level, we could see a potential push up there. Initial rejection, come back down. So fully aware that this news, right, this push, this 300 points that we pushed down, clearly knee-jerk reaction, algos in effect last night, but we didn't see continuation. And for those of you that hopped onto the live stream last night, we were watching for a continuation below 500. We had a slight push down to, I think, 450, 470, and immediately bounced, right? So there was no continuation on that. So what does that tell us? The news was really algo related, mainly knee-jerk reaction. Nothing, we've already retraced close to 50% of that. So as far as the higher time frames, we're kind of in the middle. Are we going to continue to the downside, or is that it? A couple of things to be aware of. You know, Trump did announce early in the morning yesterday that Israel could attack Iran at any time. So there was a fair warning. In other words, when you look at retail, was fully aware that this was going to happen. Institutional traders were aware that this was possibly going to happen the next day or two. So this tells me this was mainly a knee-jerk reaction to the news and mainly algos triggered once Israel launched its attack against Iran, which is unfortunate, but that's what we're doing that's what we're dealing right now is a news-related event. Now, if we take a look at, let's take a look at the 15-minute. What I'm looking at is we've been stuck in this range, right, for a good, let's take a look at, this is the overnight. All right, let's be fair. Let's bring it down here, right? We've been stuck between the 580 and 700. More recently, we've been going back and forth, and it's a little clearer on the 1 minute. There we go. We're breaking out of that range that we were in for a good part of the last couple of hours. I was tempted to short here a couple of minutes ago, but I've had a solid week in the green across all my funded accounts, my PAs and Apex evals that I'm working on passing. So last night I did take some trades, both on PAs, funded, and evals. So I'm comfortably waking up in the green today. My trading for today is going to be a little different. I'm only going to trade one account. The rest of my accounts are all locked up, locking in those profits. Let's take a look at some of the trades from last night. Here we go. This was the trade, 80-point trade there, and another, I think, 50 points here on that push down last night. I mentioned you guys should have alerts, right? I have an alert on TradingView for 1 minute candle movements, 50 points up, 50 points down. and I have another one at 75 points. I get more interested at 75 points to turn the computer on in the overnight, but that's all based on alerts. I will be live trading next week, both the New York session. I mean, this is going to be my main focus. Of course, I'm competing with everybody else, so my viewer count is going to be a lot lower. But I'll do the Asia session as well to, trade during the overnight hours during the week. So I'll do both. Obviously, during the overnight session, there's less competition, and I can probably start building a little trading community there. I do want to be consistent with the live trading, so hopefully you'll see me a little more often next week as well, definitely during the New York session. So that's really what we have here in terms of levels, right? If we go back to the 4-hour, or we can do it on the 1 hour, this 800 level, right? That was yesterday's low. By the way, for anybody new to the stream, overnight low, previous day low, previous day close, previous day high, and overnight high, which is close to the previous day close. So if we look at levels, right, what are we looking for here? We were talking about this 925 level yesterday, or the last couple of days. That level right there stuck around for quite some time, and now with the news we flushed down. So right now I'm looking at this 800 level as a potential push up for initial rejection, and then obviously this 525 or 500 to 525 area, which is the overnight or closer to the overnight low, or where we saw the initial support last night. Could we come back and test that for a push up? So it is going to be tricky, because although it's indicating a knee-jerk reaction to the news, you got a lot of retail waking up to negative positions, right? Especially if they were looking for a continuation to the upside after yesterday's move. You got a lot of people in the red. So initially we might see some sell-off to control losses. However, the fact that Trump had kind of given everyone a heads up, I could see how institutional traders or institutions right now are going to buy this dip and push us up right back up to yesterday's numbers. It's a Friday, so I'm in the green. Like I said, I'm only trading one account. My other accounts are locked in terms of trading. I'm locking in those profits from last night. So that's the plan, at least for today. I'd like to see what we're going to do. We're right in the middle. Like I said, we're watching the Fibonacci. In other words, we know that we're already 50% retracement on that move, right? We went all the way up to the 50% and then took a little pullback. So I'd like to see how this news plays out. Now, we do have headline risk today. In other words, you could be in the middle of a trade and Iran decides to retaliate, or there's an additional strike from Israel, or Trump says, whatever, his tweets. So obviously headline risk today is high. I'm definitely trading with a stop, and I'm not trading the majority of my accounts. I'm only trading one eval today, to be transparent. The rest, like I showed you with my trades, I captured almost $2,000 across PAs and my accounts, my funded account, sim funded accounts, with that drop last night. So comfortably in the green. Not going to do anything stupid. Friday rules are in effect, especially if you're in the green. Lock it in. Minimal risk today. Trading with a stop. Probably one or two trades. This account with those two trades from last night is already up $3,000. So maybe a 25-30 point trade brings me down to 700. Still closing the day at 2,300 with last night's trades. So not looking to anything too stupid today. If you're in the green, lock it in. If you're in the red, it's Friday, man. Don't go in there full porting today. It's not the day to full port. Accept the loss, and next week will be another week. So that's the plan. Again, gonna be very patient. We got 10 a.m. news, right? What do we got here? So let me set some timers. I'm going to set a timer for the 15-minute opening range, and I'm setting a timer for 10 a.m. just so I'm not caught in any trades around that time. But yes, we do have consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. So be aware of that. In terms of news, or obviously futures fell overnight, 1.2% for NASDAQ. The Dow is down. All right, so everybody's across the board down about 1%. Oil obviously went up. Crude was on a rally last night. Obviously Middle East related. Oil prices for demand. Pricing going up is there. Let's see what else. Anything else specific to today? That's pretty much it for the news. So let's go back to Quantar. So again, what am I watching? 800 level up here, previous day low. Or somewhere around here, I could see a rally for initial rejection, pull back down. If retail does go into panic and, oh my God, we're going to war and Iran is going to retaliate anytime and let me get out before this gets worse, then we may come back down to test somewhere around here, the 500 or possibly the full overnight low, 474. That would be bad. I would not consider a bounce at that point, or I'd probably watch for a bounce. But if we retrace, I mean, that's on a Friday, 200 points, that could indicate further downside. Again, I'm not trying to be a hero today. Can be very conservative in the play. So let's see how this plays out. Let me set my stop. Again, with headlines today and the potential for tweets and all that good stuff, I don't want to get caught on a 100-point wick. So good morning to everyone. Happy Friday. Let's see what the market has for us today. All right, so again, we got news at 10 a.m. We got a pretty volatile night as it is. Now take it easy, take it easy. Let's see what we got today. 2 minutes to the open. So initially we have this overnight high, well, not overnight high, this range within the last couple of hours. 700 being the resistance zone. We just came back and tested the bottom of that range and immediately bounced. So let's see what the bulls have. If the bulls are clearly going to say, no, this news is not sticking, we'll see a rally. If retail panics and they're waking up in the red right now and decides to sell for less to control losses, then we might see a sell-off. We'll see. Either way, it's going to be tricky. 10 seconds. All right, there goes that test of the overnight range. That's the initial rejection there. We got previous day low all the way up at 820, which is the level that, or this area is where I get interested. Potential long, potential rejection. But again, a lot of this is headline related today. It's all going to come down to what the market wants to do around the news from last night. If this was just a knee-jerk reaction algos and then the bulls are just going to go into full control, then we'll see a push up. We got pivot point around 770. Again, this makes sense, right? Trump did give a fair warning that this was coming, and I could see this bought up right back up, and the U.S. has nothing to worry about Middle East turmoil. There's that pivot point touch right now, and let's see, this is where it gets interesting. Okay, so initial rejection at the pivot point. Struggling up there, but not losing it. That's two solid 1 minute candles. And straight up to pivot point. Tricky, tricky, tricky. It's battling there. Is that it in terms of relief for the bulls? We'll find out. It's battling for sure. Little bull flag consolidation for a potential another leg up. Or is this it in terms of relief rally for the bulls? And then we'll see the play to the downside. Tricky. And we got news at 10 a.m. Little indecision going on there. Continuing with indecision here. Building a bull flag. right at the pivot point, initial rejection, but not substantial. So at this point, watching for the break here to the upside or to the downside. Ooh, there's the break. There's the test of the attempting to test your EMA. Little fake out. Trapping any shorts that got FOMO'd in down here. Or is it going to continue to flush to the downside? No nasty bounce, so there could be further downside on display. Okay. There's the bounce right there. Right off of the 9 SMA. Sorry, 9 EMA. Tricky, tricky. That just bounced off of the 9 EMA. On this chart, for anybody new to the stream, my red line is the 200 SMA, and this magenta is my 20 SMA. However, on Tradeify, I do monitor the 9, and we just bounced right here at the 9 EMA. All right, indecision. We got 10 a.m. news. I'll wait for the 50-minute opening range and see what we got going on there. Again, not going crazy today. I'm already comfortably in the green after last night's flush or play to the downside. So we'll see. There's the break above that initial bull flag. Probably going after that previous day low or yesterday's low. And we get another pullback for possible continuation to the upside, or is that it for this move? And we need a stronger pullback. All right, testing the 9 EMA again. Bounced off the 9 EMA. Once again, 2 bounces so far off of the 9. So the bear is attempting to flush this. It's not playing out, similar to yesterday. Those EMAs proved to be fatal for anybody trying to short, including myself. Indecision at this pivot point. Attempting to push above the pivot point. Still struggling. It is using the 9 EMA as its launch pad. Test, bounces, test, bounce. Gonna be patient. It's Friday. Like I said, I'm comfortably in the green for the week, so we'll see if we see anything. If not, might just leave it all alone. Okay, stair stepping its way up. You guys are awfully quiet today. Well, thanks for everybody tuning in. I know there's a lot of streamers out there to watch, a lot of talented traders out there, so thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everyone. Hope everyone is having a great Friday. Hope everyone is having a great week. Keep it in the green. If you're new to the stream, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe button, help me out with the algo there. All right, we're consolidating. Bull flag for sure. Bull flagging. Another, that was a minimal bounce off of the 9. Okay, so now we're seeing some break below the 9. Nope, bounce right back up. Battle at the 9 EMA, not the strong bounce we've seen so far. Bears positioning below. But we already had one fake out, so I'm a little resistant on shorting this, especially with this push up and reading this as a bull flag. Potential move to the upside would be targeting that 800, 810 level. So a long here would be about a 30-point long, risking a lot though. I'd risk a test of the breakout area from the overnight range. That's why I'm not too inclined. I'd like a stronger pullback if today is truly going to be a directional day to the upside. All right, now we're testing. We've broken through the 9 EMA. We're testing the 20 SMA right now. If the 20 SMA, no initial bounce there, So bears are positioning now. This could be the flush. All right, that's my 15-minute alarm. That's opening range is in play now. Okay. Next alarm is for 10 a.m. news. Middle of the 15-minute opening range. Bounce off of the 20. A lackluster bounce, I'll tell you that. Well, there you go. Now it's... So the 20 provided the support. Now the 9 EMA is providing the initial resistance, which was support for this move up. And now the 9 EMA is right here. So we're going back and forth between the 20 SMA, 9 EMA, and trying to find direction there. Whoever wins, I would say at this point, probably gets direction. We'll see. SMA is creeping up. And here comes the pop to blow through the 9 EMA, and we'll probably test this high of the range or high of the consolidation range again. There it is. Use the 20 SMA for the bounce, pushing above the 9 EMA. And now we're back to this initial resistance level around 775. 775 providing, well, 765. Pivot point, initial resistance area. And it's slowed down considerably. Bulls need a lot more strength. They want to recover this push for the downside from last night. Because we have 10 a.m. news, I'm gonna not trade until the news drops. Unless I see something crazy. Well, good morning to everyone. Happy Friday. Thanks for tuning in. I know you guys got a lot of options out there, a lot of talented traders to watch. So for everyone tuned in, thank you. If you're new to the stream, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. My name is JC. I live in Arizona, so my times are 3 hours behind most of you. So just keep that aware as you look at my charts. There's a reason why they're 3 hours behind. Is that your classic bull flag right there? With the pop about to go. Boom. There it is. There's the pop. Now, is it a fake out, or are we going to see continuation to this? Damn, 10 a.m. news. I can't trade this, man. Sorry, guys. Okay, we attempted to push above the 15-minute opening range. Initial rejection. We did have a lot of fake outs yesterday. I got caught one of those. So that could be the look above and fail and the trap. Was that the trap? Still nothing. So we've attempted now twice to push above that level, 770, 780. I mean, I do think, listen, we have previous day low test up here. Still think there's further upside to this, either for continuation or at that point we might have to consider some type of pullback. But it's Friday. I'm going to be patient. Take it easy. Let's wait for the news. We got 7 minutes. Let's see what that does. It's the catalyst needed to push up. Or, like I said, you got a lot of people waking up to some red. This could be it for the relief rally and further downside. NASDAQ going nowhere. Stuck in a 25, 30 point range for range traders. Buy the lows, sell the highs. Okay, here we go. Now we're attempting to flush. We are now below the 20 and the 20 SMA, 9 EMA. Will this flush hold, or is it going to be the bounce area again? Not making it easy. Loves to trap. Careful with the bounce here. Okay, it looks like there will be, let's see if it respects that channel right there and it bounces. If not, then we got some more downside here. It should be entering at the low of that move with a potential bounce right back to the top of that channel. Trapping anybody here and then push right back up. There it is. That's that trap. It's been trappy. So it did respect the bottom of that channel. Now we got to figure out, is that it for the pullback and then final push to the upside? This 10 o'clock news needs to happen quick. There's a nice entry right here. So far, the bull flag is shaping up, right? We haven't seen major push below yet. My son just turned off the lights. Probably did. Four minutes for the news. Although I don't think it's going to be crazy news. Let's just wait at this point and see what kind of if it becomes a catalyst for anything. All right, so this initial range has been extended. And we're basically in a chop zone. This is where you get cut up pretty bad. It's Friday, wait for direction. So we just tested the initial breakout area. Getting weak, it's getting weak. News in 3 minutes. All right, this is the flush area. This could be a nice little flush to test the high of that overnight range. And you'll see a nasty woof. Flush area, flush area. Extend that a little bit. There we go. Will the flush hold? All right, so the breakout area is holding for now. Bears are starting to take control. We do see some selling pressure. But news in 30 seconds. So hopefully you didn't get caught up in this chop fest, or if you range trade it, you're probably nicely in the green with a couple trades buying lows, selling highs. Ooh, okay, is that the news? Yep, there goes the news. Catalyst. See what happens. Bull flag playing out for now. Classic bull flag came down to the bottom and then pop. But pivot point, again, providing resistance, not able to push or get itself out of this range. That 780 level becoming the area of resistance. Pivot point up there. Not allowing continuation to the upside. Oh, thanks. That's a little late. That was supposedly my 10 a.m. news. telling me to get out of a trade. Oh, I know why. I got to set it 5 minutes before. Choppy. So other than the initial move, you're in a range, a chop zone, and waiting for resolution of that range. We're also in the middle of the 15-minute opening range. Oh, not in the middle. Upper quadrant, I'd say. Getting back into this selling channel. This is still the flush area. Is it going to use the top of that channel now as your launch pad? We are below the 20 SMA and the 9 EMA right now. Look at the 20 SMA, the way it has now arced to the downside. But that doesn't really mean much. It could change in a heartbeat to the upside. Well, boring Friday so far. So far, the play of the day was the test of the 200 SMA, playing that bounce on the open. You could have also played the break out of the overnight range, and you had a nice little long there. That's pretty much the only thing. Other than that, you're range trading, selling highs, buying lows for quick 15, 20-minute scalps, 15, 20-point scalps. Still in range. See what CNBC's got to say, if there's anything going on or any updates on the Middle East. So it looks like dollar is rallying. That's not good for NQ. This means shift from stocks to the dollar for safety net. Crude oil continues to jump. So I think there's further downside, especially if you have the dollar now rallying. I'm not looking at the chart, I'm just reading headline news. And it looks like crude is rallying right now, so that could have been the better trade today in terms of futures. Struggling to get out of this range for the bulls. Bears are now capturing the lower quadrant. But we can go right back up. attempted flush there, bought right back up. Attempting to position above 9 EMA and 20 SMA with that push right there. 20 SMA now providing the resistance to that move to the upside. If they push above, then I could see a test of that, of the high of that range again. But it's been range trading so far. That's the chop zone. Identify it and don't get caught. No trades so far for me. Nasty. Look at the 5 minute. Holy. Nasty. Nasty 5 minute. Wow. All right, looks like bears are trying to conquer this move. And we'll see a break. The tricky part is if the bears do capture that, where is the entry for riding that move to the downside? If the bulls continue to play this bull flag, and again, these flags or these consolidation zones can be dragged out for 20 minutes, they could be an hour. Just not interested on a Friday to range trade this. Okay, bears have been holding it down here. Whether it's a trap to get you to enter on a short at the bottom of this range and then blast you, rip you apart. What NQ does. Let's wait. All right, it's slowing down. It's getting tight. A move is happening pretty soon. I've just fallen victim to this little trap. The bears hold you. They hold you here. They hold you here. They get your hopes. And then you see the ripper on that bull flag. Okay, we're breaking out of that range that we've been in for a while. Coming to test the breakout area, the initial open breakout area. We come back into range. We'll see what happens at the 200 SMA right here. Got VWAP at 660. Initial bounce at the 200 needs to be strong. This needs to be violently up to the upside. Ooh, ooh. No significant bounce at the 200 SMA. No bueno. No bueno. Coming to test the bottom of the 15-minute opening range. That needed to be a stronger bounce on the 200. Usually I would take that trade, but because we got news-related trading going on, I'm going to be a little more patient today. And that bounce should have been stronger. All right, coming back down for VWAP now. And now we have some direction forming. It's about 100 points from the top of the opening range now. It's choppy. What I'd like to have seen is you have this nice push with 1 minute candle to the downside, and then you have another 1 minute candle to the downside, signaling direction, but bought right back up, or at least initial support at the 200. Now, if we come back all the way up, forget it. It's a chop day. Not interested. Okay, the bounce at the 200 starting to form. So no break, at least as of right now, below the 15-minute opening range, and we're back in the middle. We're attempting to be back in the middle. Jesse James, good morning, brother. Good morning to everyone. Happy Friday. All right, selling pressure is building. We've now entered the overnight range. We're at the high of that, and we're attempting to continue to the downside there. So there's the possibility of further downside to today is shaping up. Question is, where's the entry? $200 providing that support, minimal support at this point. And then you got VWAP down at 660. So looks like we're going to test VWAP. At that point, we're testing the bottom of the 15-minute opening range. And breakouts through there, that's a trade to the downside, but just slow. But for sure, selling pressure is building. No question about it. So if we look at the overall play from last night, right, the flush down, we came back and this became the support area. That 645, 650 area is the support at the bottom of this overnight range. This is what we're looking at. Are we going to bounce? In other words, this becomes the lower high for that 4 hour, the 650 becoming the lower high for a play to the upside. Or if we blow below that, then going to get tricky. At that point, you're FOMOing in and or just riding this play to the downside if it gets aggressive. I mean, news is news. Right now, all we're seeing is this was a relief rally, and that's pretty much to get anyone out with some minimal losses from yesterday if they held positions overnight. Bulls want, obviously, to recover more of those losses. But if that's it for the relief rally, then we got to look at potential play. So 650, this area down here becomes the contested zone. If it holds and becomes the lower high on the higher time frames, then that's good. We have a support area and we bounce. Problem is news. How much of this is news related, and we might have further downside. This area down here needs to hold to validate the lower high in this move up, right? This is right around there. 650 area needs to hold for continuation to the upside. So the question is, are we forming some basing here at the 200 SMA and your 50-minute opening range becoming the bounce area or the support area? This area is critical. So we've had a gradual sell-off from the pivot point at what was the high of this? 795. Oh, there's the break. We just flushed down to VWAP. And we're at this critical level here. Decisions get made right here. Bounce area or done. Further downside. Selling pressure is strong. Again, this area right here is the bulls need that to hold as the higher low and provide the bounce. Bears, this is truly news related. Want to flush this. So the orb traders are your opening breakout range, right? This is what you're looking for a short if you're going to play the break to the downside. Unconvincing yet, still. I mean, a lot of this is going to be based on the news and how it's going to play out. V-shaped recovery on a Friday with news related. Tough to think that we'll have a V-shaped recovery. I think there's further downside, but let's watch. And your orb traders are watching for the breakout below the 50-minute opening range. Unconvincing right now. We said this 650 area was critical to hold as a higher low. And right there, finally seeing the first strong bounce in this selling move that we've had. All right, so for now, the bulls hold 650. I said it. 650 was the higher low to hold. So if it plays out, then all we did was come down to test, to secure the higher low, and then potentially be bouncing. But don't get too excited. Only one candle on a bounce. You got a lot of selling pressure, a lot right now. We just dropped 100 points from the top of that 50-minute opening range. Orb traders are looking at this right now. Breakout to the downside. But that is a critical level. That's why I'm resistant to short that right now. The orb breakout trade is forming. But the potential for the bounce is what's keeping me out of it. Tricky trading today. Now the 5-minute and the 15-minute do look nasty to the downside. Look at the 5-minute, 15-minute. Whoop, whoop. V-shaped rejection on the 15-minute. And back to the 1-minute crack trading chart. Tricky, tricky. The problem with the breakout trade to the downside is every move is being tested, right? We flush, we test, we flush, we test. So you're going to have to absorb drawdown or make a decision. If we see a bounce, you have to make the decision that's the high and short it, knowing that that's probably the most drawdown you'll get. The problem is if it's a confirmed breakout to the upside, then you're toast. Well, you'll take some losses there. Every push up or down right now is being tested, so you have a lot of wicks. Sure, it's been going down, no question about it. Just a tricky trading to limit drawdown. All right, let's get rid of this. This is played out. Let's see if we can find new patterns on this, or a bigger picture pattern. So it's been a controlled laddered sell-off. And here's the decision area, the breakout. Breakout of that OBR is playing out, but it's tricky. Ooh. All right, it's playing out. Okay. See if that's a fake out. Otherwise, now we've hit the 610 pivot point. If we flush below that, then yeah, there's downside to this. Tricky, man, tricky. Nonetheless, we did break below that 650 area, and we haven't bounced back up with force. And do I want to get in on a FOMO trade on a Friday? Ugh. Ugh. I'm only risking 35 points. I've made that decision. It's Friday. I'm $3 in the green on this account. I'd like it to be a positive trade, not just take a trade willing to risk 35 points on it, $700 loss. So let's see if I can make some decisions or simply not trade it today. So bulls need to capture and stay above 650. If this is truly a higher low on the higher time frames, bulls need to hold 650. Every move up and down is being contested. That's the tricky part of this. Although, yes, we're in a selling channel, no question about that. And a tricky selling channel, right? Depending on your entry, I mean, if you were entering at the true top of that channel and rode it and captured a couple points, then you're good. But, or you can also make the decision. You made the decision up here that that was the resistance zone and you rode that channel, then you're comfortably in the green. So everything, NASDAQ, Russell, down about 1%. Dow Jones, 1.6. S&P 1%, NASDAQ 1.3, Russell 1.4. All right, so again, you're in the selling channel, but unless you know how to read this, you can't FOMO in at the bottom because you're going to catch a drawdown. Or as long as you're willing to absorb the drawdown selling the bottoms, you know that eventually you're going to have your winning play. But we are seeing a bounce here. So 650 or VWAP right now, where we're at VWAP. We're at the 200 SMA at the 5 minute. We're at the bottom of that opening range, 50-minute opening range. And was this a simple fake out? And now we see the bounce. Let's see. 650 holding. We said that area was critical for the bulls to not break the structure of the lower high on the higher time frames. A break below that would be scary. Scary. All right, so now we're testing the top of this selling channel. A break out of this with a hold, then I might get interested in a long. But you got to break out of it strong, come back and test, and then the breakout. So something like boom, boom, boom. But tricky, man. And this selling algo that's playing out right now, it is what, 618 all the way up. It's a 50-point channel. But it's going, obviously it's a selling algo, so it is going to the downside. You just have to absorb 20, 30 points of drawdown on each move up and down, right? We know the market is a wave, right? There's no such thing as straight down, and the wave is playing out. If you're scalping this, I could see how you're nicely in the green right now. All right, what was the open? 6:30 a.m. The open was at 680. So we're literally right back to where we started. The open was right here. We opened at, where's my 6:30 candle? Open, oh no, the open was 679. Okay. So yeah, we're right back to where we started. We had a strong push to the upside, came back down and tested this area of the overnight low, or not the overnight low, the low of that overnight range, and we bounced. Yeah, last night, Steve, was tricky because I mean, we got time. There's not much happening yet, so we can take a look at last night. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. Last night, I got the alert and I rushed. So you had an I'd have my alerts at 50 points up or down in a 1 minute candle. I got in, captured 80 points, got in again and captured, I think, 50 points on this move down. And then the question was, were we going to have continuation here? We didn't. We got a bounce, another flush, a bounce, and then pretty much a recovery there. Okay, so on the 1 minute, yeah, last night was tricky. I decided to get out here and called it, but yeah, I captured some nice green there across my accounts. This trade I copy traded with all my accounts. This one I only took it with one account. So the account that I'm trying to trade today. Ooh. So we said 650. So bulls held 650 and bounced nicely. Now, again, I guess what we're looking for is continuation of this overnight, because this is the overnight range, right? This was that overnight range after the initial push to the downside. So I think if we look at the, what's it called? I think we're back to the 50% fib, right? Let's take a look at the 15 minute. We're pushing at the 61. We're above now the 50%. So we had a bounce back to that 32, which is your standard. That was the area we were looking at, the 620, 650 area. We bounced there. Are we going to have a full recovery? And basically the U.S. economy saying Middle East tension does not affect us. All right, we got direction is forming for sure now. We just broke out of this channel as well, the selling algo. Is that it for the sell-off? And now bulls take control again. Not get too excited. All right, we're breaking out. Let's see what happens at the bottom of the initial bull flag that we were expecting to push up. If we come and test and blow through that, then yeah, bulls are in control and we're looking at a full recovery off of the news, which makes sense. Trump did give everybody a heads up that it's happening. So I think the U.S. economy is saying Israel-related news is not affecting this market. Let me see if there's any headlines pushing that move to the upside. So we're testing the bottom of this initial range that we were stuck in for almost an hour. Whoa, breakout is playing out. Was there any recent news or just a bounce off of that pivot point around 620, 630? I'm not seeing any news. All right, so we attempted to push above the initial range on the breakout after the open. We popped right into it. Immediate rejection. We're seeing resistance there. I learned my lesson from yesterday. Well, not a lesson. I was playing the breakout. So again, there's, as long as you have that plan, a long here, right? Long in the high of this is a breakout long. Sometimes it plays, sometimes it doesn't. The problem with my entry yesterday was it was a spur of the moment decision. I had not even planned that. I just saw a wick or a pop and decided along a top. And I paid, right? I think I took a 25-point loss there. Obviously, I wasn't going to go crazy. But that's the thing with these type of breakouts. It's fine if you planned it. But in the minute, in emotional trading, which got me yesterday, that's what you don't want to do. Again, the trade is a breakout trade is fine if you're planning it that way. In other words, I'm waiting for it to come to the bottom of this break or hint to break inside, and then I'll take the breakout trade. It's risky as hell. In this case, you're down 40 points, a drawdown right now already. The safer trade is, sure, we might continue. Let's come back and test the top of this overnight range and then look for the bounce. And at that point, you can decide where you want your entry to be. If it's above and now you're truly playing a breakout, right? You got to play breakouts with a test. Still has to come back and down and test before we truly break out. My trade yesterday was truly based on emotion. Oh yeah, it's going up. And I caught myself immediately after I got in and not doing it today. Breakout trades are fine. It's on a first move up, as long as you know that there will be drawdown for a test. The problem with taking drawdown for a test, the test may fail, and now you got to give up that position because it's a complete failure on that breakout. So the better play, if you're going to play out a breakout on something like this, is let's see if it's testing this overnight range, the overnight range holds, and you see that push up, then you can decide where to enter. But that's not to say that this breakout trade, even if you entered somewhere up here, is not valid. You just got to know that you got to be willing to absorb the drawdown for that test. And I've learned to catch myself. Usually when I do silly trade in the moment, I'm like, what are you doing? That's the indicator of tilt. And I did the right thing. I called it. I gave myself a break. I did recover. If we have time, I'll actually take a trade today. If I have time, I'll go over the recovery trades from yesterday. I was down about 1,200 on the live stream. I didn't DCA and I didn't increase my leverage. I continued with one contract, one mini. And after being down 1,200, I closed positive 700. But I realized, okay, tilt's happening, take a break, come back. The trade I took yesterday at that top was not planned. I did not talk about it. It was purely based on a push up or a pop. And it trapped me. I mean, I only gave it 25 points. I'm not, that thing that I've learned, I'm not going to wish on a FOMO trade for it to turn back around, but there was no reason to take it. All right, so we're testing the top of that overnight range. Tricky, tricky. See if I'm missing anything on the higher time frames. This is the 5-minute. So we have this channel now, ascending channel forming. In other words, a V recovery. And right back down. Tough to trade this. Your timing has to be so perfect. Not any long-term targets. It's a scalping's paradise today. So far, we're looking at an attempted V recovery on the 5-minute. We pushed up, V down. Now, is this going to be another V recovery? Nasty, nasty NASDAQ. So, it's been scalper's paradise, but I'm trying to look for a nice, I'd like to get a 30, 50 point play, but you had two plays today. You had this one, and the short of the pivot point. The 620 pivot pound bounce was a nice one, but you didn't really get a touch. Tricky. Let's take a look at this 630 candle. We said our open was at 679. We opened up at, let's call it 680. We're at 694. We're 14 points above the open. We've gone nowhere. It's Friday. It's the summer. That's why we have very low liquidity as it is. That's why you see all the testing. You go up, you test it. It's because of the lack of liquidity. You got a lot of Wall Street enjoying the Hamptons right now. And that's how the summer trading usually plays out. 4th of July, we'll see some crazy movements up and down because you have way less liquidity, so your swings are exaggerated. All right, guys, not the price action I'd like on a Friday. And like I said, I'm comfortably in the green after last night, so I'm being very picky. So we came back. Remember, we talked about the breakout trade for this. We pushed up. We came back down. We tested. We're holding. And now this breakout trade can start playing out. But yeah, Steve, I trade NQ mainly, even on my personal account. I traded on Interactive Brokers. I gotta be honest, I like trading futures. I came from the options world. I started trading futures in 2023, but before that, I was trading mainly options. I still trade options on a personal. But with prop firms, when I got introduced to prop firms in 2023, it was a game changer. Being able to trade this with very minimal risk and not your own money, and then payouts, moving them to personal account. It's been a game changer for me. All right, so here's the breakout that we're talking about. Okay, there's the breakout that we were talking about. So remember that breakout trade, as long as you're willing to take the drawdown on the test, your trade is valid. Now we are, if it holds, the problem is every play gets tested. And we have a breakout happening right now. It's that constant testing. It's slow, but it's moving for sure. That was 50 points in 4 minutes on that breakout. Remember we talked about the test, and now confirmed breakout. Tricky, tricky. So it's slow directional moves, which I just don't do well in slow movements. But we had a slow directional move to the downside. We're shaping a slow directional move to the upside. But it's definitely channel driven. It's not, it's with an algo. It's playing out within buying channels and selling channels. It's not giving you that clean move to the upside. Right, there we go. So if I really wanted to trade this, wait for another pullback and then play it. But you know, you're playing this up and down, and it's wave, right? We know the market is cyclical, right? You have these waves. You had a wave to the downside. You got a nice clean wave to the upside. Just don't like that price action. So we pushed up, we tested, we pushed up, we tested. It's that lack of liquidity where you don't have clean movements to the upside. You have it constantly testing. But it is directional. It's just very slow, and I don't like to trade it that way. You gotta hold. Crazy V recovery, attempted recovery there. Slow. What time is it in New York? 9, 10, 11 a.m. We're approaching lunchtime. Friday. Haven't taken a trade yet. Might call it a day pretty soon. Thanks for everyone tuned in. Do me a favor, if you haven't done so, or you're new to the stream, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. Help me out with the algo. My name is JC. I live in Arizona. That's why my times are 3 hours behind. I'm trying to get consistent on the live trading. So next week I'll be back again every day. Trading New York. I'll trade the Asia, or attempt to trade the Asia, because it's not my favorite session to trade, but I will be trading Asia only because there's less competition, and if I'm trying to build a community, I probably will get a little better viewership during the Asia session. New York, I'm competing with all the hot shots, and I'm aware of that. So I know you guys got a lot of talented traders out there to watch. So thank you for tuning in with all the options out there. Help me out there with the algo. Smash that like, smash that subscribe. And we're going to do this 10 viewers at a time during the New York session. But I will be doing Asia as well. It's a lot slower. I don't like it, but I do see that Asia has less competition. You get more viewers, and we'll slowly build. There's no rush. I'm not a hot shot. Just bringing my style of trading to you guys, and hopefully I learn from everybody else as well. I do have a Discord. Feel free to drop comments. You can use some of those promo codes on some of the prop firms that I use, like Apex, Take Profit Trader. And in the Discord, I do want to start getting a little more active. I've I got to be honest, I've been inconsistent with the Discord and the live streaming, but I'm going to make it a little priority now to start participating or engaging that a little more often. So looking forward to learning from you guys as well, some of the strategies you guys use. This is a strategy, mainly 2200 SMA driven with VWAP and pivot points as guidance. But I'm always willing to learn, so feel free to drop in Discord and provide your insights and your style of trading. Happy Friday to everyone. Slow. And who knows, there might be a stronger move later in the afternoon, but I think I'm going to enjoy my Friday, my weekend. I'm, like I said, nicely in the green, so no need to push this. Wow. And like I said, we are approaching lunch. It's Friday, summertime in New York. Your Wall Street hotshots are headed to the Hamptons right now. I should be heading to my pool right now, 100 degrees today, and for the weekend, got family to take care of and enjoy. See you guys on Monday for both New York and Asia, God willing. And I think that is it for today. Risk Trader, what books do you recommend to get better at NQ trading? I'm not a book guy. I think a lot of the information you can get nowadays is available for free on YouTube. Prop firms, if you're a beginner trader, definitely use a prop firm. I would not risk, if you have not traded futures before and you're new to futures, I wouldn't risk your own capital. You're going to lose a lot of money at the beginning. So use a prop firm. Prop firms allow you to buy for $100. You can buy an account that gives you $3,000 or $6,000 in drawdown. Drawdown meaning the max you can lose. But let's say you blew or you lost $3,000 on a prop firm. It costs you $100 to lose $3,000. In a real account, you lost $3,000, buddy. So I'm a strong believer in prop firms to learn how to trade. I think your ultimate goal, if you really like futures trading, should always be to trade your own personal account. But prop firms offer you a very easy way, high leverage, minimal risk. If you can get consistent and get your payouts, move those payouts to your live account. That's what I've done since last year. But a lot of the content out there to trade futures is available for free. I don't recommend buying courses. Definitely don't spend $5,000 on some guru's course. There's no need for that. You can find all that information for free and find your strategy. All the strategies are winning strategies. It's building discipline and patience in that strategy. You got to find a strategy that works for you. I'm very impatient. That's why I'm more of a momentum driven trader, 20 and 200 fast movements. That's why I like NASDAQ, which moves really fast. Obviously not for the last couple of days, and that's why you kind of see me resistant to take trades, because I'm not seeing direction or the price action that I like. But you got to find the strategy that works for you. I talk to fellow traders on a daily. Some of them hate my style because they're more conservative, right? They play these longer extended plays and they're good at it. I can make that same trade in the amount of points that I win with strong directional price action driven trading. So it depends on your personality. Some personalities cannot trade NASDAQ. They prefer ES or Russell or something else. NASDAQ is brutal, but I love the high leverage, high volatility. Sure, we're not seeing it today or in general for the last couple of days. That's lack of liquidity, and that's the summer. That's summer trading in general. You just got to find a style that works for you. I trade on Interactive Brokers, my personal account. I've used it for years. Yes, high commissions and all that good stuff. But I also use Interactive Brokers for options and some of my stock positions. So I like the fills on Interactive Brokers if I'm, if I'm scalping options. But yes, Interactive Brokers does have high commissions. And if you're looking for prop firms, guys, if you're new to trading, take a look at my website, www.jcdaytrader.com. You've seen some of the ads. You can use Apex, which is very cheap. If you're looking for the cheapest, in other words, you're brand new to futures, number one, you're going to lose at the beginning. So go with the cheapest account. You're not thinking about payouts just yet. You're just thinking about where can I get experience to trade futures? I would go with Apex or a Bulenox. Again, strictly because you're not thinking payouts yet. There are issues with payouts with some of these firms, and then you'll understand it. But get to a payout first. If you're brand new, go with the cheapest one that gives you the most amount of drawdown, meaning how much can you lose before you blow the account? Apex, by the way, I only trade 150Ks because I trade minis. I don't trade micros on NASDAQ. I love the minis. I just, again, I'm an impatient trader. I just can't find it interesting to trade micros. And I've done well with minis. In other words, if you look at my YouTube content, I'm well over 6 figures in payouts from prop firms in the last 12 months. And it's all through minis. But again, brand new to trading, go with like an Apex or a Bulenox. You have those discount codes in my website or on the stream, JCDT, and get yourself a very cheap account. You're going to blow it. If you're brand new to futures, trust me, you're going to blow it. But there's no reason to risk your own money at the beginning. If you're going to lose $3,000, lose $3,000 on a prop firm account that cost you $50 to $100. As you build consistency, fund your personal account with the profits or the payouts that you get from prop firms. That's what I do. Your ultimate goal, if you really want to become a futures trader, is to trade your personal account. You know, there are a lot of issues with prop firms, payout denials, and, you know, all the sketchiness. But for a beginner trader, I can't recommend it enough. You should be only trading on prop firms because they offer a great way to learn how to trade futures with a low tuition cost. And for you guys that know the tuition cost to learning how to trade, whether it's day trading stocks, options, futures, whatever it is, on a personal account, your tuition fee is skyrocketing, especially trading futures. You're gonna have a tuition fee no matter how you look at it. But do you want to spend $10,000 to $15,000 or maybe $20,000 blowing through accounts on a prop firm versus $100,000 to $150,000, $200,000 of your own money learning how to trade futures? Go with the prop firm. Depending on your journey, where you're at, if you came from stocks or options, you have an idea, your journey could be short. Your tuition fee to learn how to trade futures could be $1,000, $5,000, I don't know. But it's going to be significantly less than going right into it with your own money on a live account. That's why I strongly recommend prop firms. Now, again, I want to clarify that your ultimate goal should be to trade your personal account. You're not stuck to consistency rules. You can trade a lot more freely. You can swing. My personal account, I love to swing it. Anyways, that's my insight. Hope that helps. Risk Trader, yes, Apex is sending emails to traders that have requested payouts, and you got to provide, I think, 5 days of your strategy, and they'll consider you for the live. So that's good. I think Apex moving into their live funded program is good. A lot of prop firms have a payout cap, and then they move you to live funded trading. All right, guys, like I said, I'm done. It's slow down. Going to lunch. All your Wall Street hotshots are headed to the Hamptons. I'm headed to the pool. No trades today, but again, already comfortably in the green after yesterday's push to the downside. If you haven't done so, smash that like, smash that subscribe, and that is all I have for today. Thanks again. I know you guys have a lot of options to watch other traders, other talented traders. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for helping me out, and I'll see you guys next week.